Welcome to Dublin, Gregg, and every good wish for great success with your new service from St. John's. WestJet is a relatively new name for us here in Ireland, but of course you're a major Canadian carrier employing over 10,000 staff with services to 88 destinations. Tell us a little bit more about your airline.
Well, first of all, it's great to be here in Dublin. We've had a fantastic start to our new service. Dublin's an important new plank for us. It's our first transatlantic service to Europe from Canada, which of course we've launched from St. John's, Newfoundland. And it's been very well received by our guests to date.
But you have a unique culture in WestJet. I mean, you don't associate low cost with shoddy service, quite the contrary.
No, that's true. I mean, we've been named Canada's preferred airline for several years in a row, and in 2014 we received from Air Transport World the Value Airline of the World Award. So what that means is we've done a pretty good job, I think, of bringing low-cost travel, but also with our brand of caring service. Our company is run by WestJetters, as we call them. These are employee owners. 85% of our employees have an ownership stake in the company, and that just provides them with this ownership mentality that results in a great guest experience.
Terrific. And as you said, the great bulk of your services are within North America and the Caribbean and of course Hawaii. We're thrilled that you chose Dublin as your first European destination. Can you tell us why?
A variety of reasons, really, and frankly. First of all, the proximity of Ireland to the east coast of Canada was a major factor. Our fleet is entirely 737s, and so those next generation Boeings have a range distance limitation, which makes only certain geographies come into play. And certainly off the east coast of North America, there were a number of points within the UK, Ireland, and the near points in Europe that were possible with that aircraft type. But what made us choose Ireland was two things. One, the strong ancestral link between Newfoundland and Ireland. And secondly, the opportunity for us to start to dip a toe, if you will, in the water and start a service to Europe, which requires us to build a lot of infrastructure. So behind the scenes, we've been busy building new links with the bank settlement plans and the global distribution systems, and selling in a foreign currency, etc. So all of that has come together nicely in a place called Ireland for us.
Well, that's good news for us as well. And of course, there are huge historical connections between the Canadian Maritimes and Ireland. So I guess you'll be targeting the Irish market for some originating business on this service as well.
Indeed, we will be. We think that both the east coast of Canada, and of course our flight continues on to Toronto. So same plane service from Dublin to Toronto, which is a big hub for us in eastern Canada. And from there, our guests can reach as many as 19 countries, all over the Caribbean, Mexico, and of course a lot of our services in Western Canada. So we think we have an offering that's quite attractive to the Irish market.
Sure, and I think the other thing, one of the other things that will surprise many people in Ireland, you referred to it earlier, is the actual flying time. It's quite short.
Well, it's actually quite amazing. Our trip over was just a little more than 4 hours, which of course in 4 hours from the east coast of Canada, you barely reach the middle point of Canada. So in fact, Ireland is much closer to Newfoundland than Newfoundland is to the western part of Canada. That's
fascinating and will surprise a lot of people. Of course, the world is round, so we don't always get those distances right when we're looking at flat maps, but 4 hours is tremendous. And 4 hours, of course, the other thing about it is that it's less than many of the sun destinations that Irish people go to. So the best of luck with Irish originating business. I'm sure there will be a lot of it. Tell me, there's a huge increase in air capacity from Canada to Ireland this year, and we're very pleased about that. 3 carriers operating out of Toronto and yourself. And access is always good news for a tourism destination, but are you confident that the market will sustain all of those new services?
Well, capacity between Ireland and Canada is in fact up more than 100% year over year. There's a lot of new service, but we're confident that our service will be a winner for 2 reasons. One is WestJet has built itself on an 18-year history of providing affordable air travel. We say in Canada that we have been responsible for liberating Canadians from the high cost of air transportation. And we see that here in the North Atlantic. Our inaugural fares were only $143 plus tax from Newfoundland to Ireland.
Yeah. Your traffic figures in May were tremendous, 1.6 million, and you'll carry almost 20 million passengers this year. But tell us a little bit about how the Irish service has started off. It's been quite a unique experience, I think, in your history with WestJet.
Yes, not only unique, but in fact this new service was the most rapidly sold service in our 18-year history. So the forward bookings are very strong. We're almost completely sold out through the peak summer months. Of course, there's still some great fares available into the fall. but we sold 11,000 tickets in 24 hours.
That is truly amazing and wonderful to hear, of course. And finally, you have ambitious fleet expansion plans. Will you be looking at other destinations in Western Europe? And lastly, on the Irish service, gone so successfully this year, extended the season, any prospect that that might be extended further in 2015?
Well, certainly it's something that we need to look very closely at. We've said to ourselves that we're going to take a pause at the end of this first season and take a look and see how the service has actually performed. Certainly with our forward bookings being as strong as they are, and even with a weak Canadian currency, it's actually a travel bargain now for Irishmen to travel to Canada because the Canadian dollar is relatively weak against the euro. And so we'll look at this season. I expect it to be a good one. And we are in the process now of evaluating other aircraft types and speaking with the aircraft manufacturers to see if it might make sense to have another growth opportunity in our network performed by wide-body aircraft.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for talking to us. The very best of luck with that. We're looking forward to welcoming your guests as you describe your passengers, which is a very friendly way of doing it. And we look forward to seeing many of them here in Ireland during the summer and for many years to come.
Thank you. Terrific being here. Appreciate the time.